This is the biggest W we have heard. It's so weird because I just said that about the Jamar Chase situation, but this is even better than the Jamar Chase situation. Well, kinda. It's like a mixed bag between the two. By the way, little update to the Jamar Chase situation. I actually just talked about it in my community tab, but Mike Brown went ahead and said this about the Jamar Chase situation. He says, "We are going to bend over backwards to make it happen. I can't tell you when it's going to get done." But he claims they're going to bend over backwards to get it done. So hopefully that's a positive thing in the end here. Our intention is to keep the player. We're going to try hard to. Nonetheless, though, skipping forward here back to the CBS article, this is the most important thing we could have heard. So Joe talked to local reporters today and Zach Taylor confirmed that Joe Burrow was 100% medically cleared. Again, kind of going back to my community tab right here, Zach Taylor just told local media that Joe Burrow has been fully cleared for contact, which is, again, awesome. But going back to this little snippet, during an interview Monday, Zach Taylor has revealed that Joe Burrow will be playing some of the preseason. And this goes against everything. I mean, everything Zach Taylor is about. You know, since Zach has joined our squad, he has refused to give any playing time to starters during the preseason. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't matter what the excuse is, what the reasoning is. He does not like to have his starters out there during the preseason. But that looks like that might be changing. And I think the reason why it's changing is for really obvious reasons here, is because the fact starting off the season, we've always started off slow, and you can't start off this season slow. You start off versus the Patriots, okay, that's a little bit easier of a game. But then you play the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's going to be a tough game right there. You play the Washington Commanders, okay. You play the Panthers, but then you play the Ravens. So you got to start off this season fast, especially with how this season kind of, to a certain degree, starts to plateau and it becomes really easy. You want to get started fast and continue the momentum throughout the season. So this is a huge W. Now, he didn't say anything about the rest of the starters, whether or not we're going to play the rest of the starters. I hope we do. I don't want to see Trent Brown's first game end up being, week one of the season. I want to see Trent Brown in the Bengals uniform out there blocking for Joe Burrow in preseason. That's why preseason is so amazing, and I know most people hate it, but the reason why it is good and it does have a lot of value is because it gives us looks at our players to see, what they need to work on. How are they looking? It gets off all the rust. It makes them actually be able to go out there and play for the first time against actual competition in a game that doesn't matter, but it matters in the aspect to see and scout, okay, this is what we need to work on, this is what's good, this is what's bad. We always start off the season in a very negative look, 0-2, 0-3. We can't do that this year, okay? We can't. We got to start it off good, guns a-blazing, get Joe Burrow out there. It's also, you don't risk injury then when you get to the season, because then your first contact is against people who are legitimately trying to kill you on the field. So you don't want your first contact to be against players that are actually trying to end your first contact completely. But with that being said, though, we do, of course, have the little spreadsheet they have posted here, which is 2020 all preseason games were canceled due to COVID. 2021, he was returning from an ACL tear. He did just play 3 snaps. 2022, he underwent surgery due to medical issue. He was first forced to miss the preseason. And then 2023, the Bengals strained his calf during the second practice, and he missed the entire preseason. But again, it's a very age-old thing when it comes to Zach Taylor. He does not start players in the preseason. He doesn't play the starters. Marvin Lewis did, and that was what Marvin Lewis always did, which was always great, was we got to see some of the starters, and not just for fans, but also shook off some of that rust. I want to see that this year, and he confirmed This is going to be a Super Bowl year. I'll see you guys next one.